Okay, good afternoon to all of you here in Suzuka Circuit. We'll be going back to the YouTube channel quite shortly, but as soon as we're connected. But first of all, I just address to the people who are here at the racetrack today. Good afternoon, and we'll be starting the qualifying for the Suzuka 10-hour race, the 48th Suzuka Summer Endurance BH Auctions SMBC race, and shortly. And I'd like to introduce you to my colleagues.
Hi, I'm Sam Collins. You might know me from Super GT in previous seasons and Super Formula Championship in 2019.
And a special guest here today.
Hello to everybody, I'm Ronnie Quintarelli, well known here in Japan. I'm driving in Super GT 500 class for Nissan Nismo. I'm really looking forward for 2 days, these 2 days of this 10 hours race.
It's going to be fantastic here at Suzuka. So we're live now on Let's Go Racing. We are live on GT World and on Pit FM here at Suzuka. It's the 48th running of the Summer Endurance Classic here at Japan's most famous motor racing circuit, sponsored by SMBC BH Auctions. It's the penultimate round of the Intercontinental GT Challenge powered by Pirelli. And we're coming up with the first qualifying session. Now, the qualifying system here at Suzuka for the 10 hours is a little different to what you might expect. Each car has 3 drivers. Each driver has a qualifying session. So the first session will have the first driver in. Then there'll be a short break. The second drivers will get in the car. They'll have a session. And the third driver will get a run after that. Now, the times from that are aggregated. So those aggregate times will determine all of the grid positions from 21st back. But the times from 20th forward will go into the Pole Shootout later this evening. So that will be absolutely sensational to see. And to run us through the drivers.
All right. Okay, so the first session will be the driver 1. Let me introduce you the teams. Car number 00, Mercedes-AMG Team Good Smile with their Mercedes-AMG T3 car. Nobuteru Taniguchi, and he's one of the Japanese favorite. Car number 2, Pro-Am Cars Tokai Dream 28 with Lotus Evora MC, Kazuho Takahashi. Car number 5, Pro-Am class with GT-Net Motorsports. It will be Nissan GTR Nismo GT3 2015. Will be driven by Teruhiko Hamano. Car number 6 will be World Racing and the Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Adrian Dietz will be driving the car. Car number 8 will be APR with ARN Racing, Ferrari 488 GT3 car, Hiroaki Nagai. Car number 9 will be MP Racing, Nissan GTR, Nismo GT3 2015. Joe Shindo will be driving the car. Car 11, Planix Smackam Racing will be McLaren 720 GT3 when driven by Mika Hakkinen. And car number 18 will be Team Up Garage, Honda Acura NSX GT3 2019. Takashi Kobayashi will be driving the car. Car number 018 will be KCMG, Nissan GTR, Nismo GT3 2018, driven by Alexandra Imperatori. Car number 21 will be Audi Hitotsuyama, Audi Team Hitotsuyama, Audi R8 LMS GT3 2019. Driven by Alessio Picariello. Car number 25 will be Audi Sports Team WRT. Audi R8 LMS GT3 2019, driven by Dries Van Toor. And car number 27, Hubble Corsa, Ferrari 488 GT3, will be driven by Nick Cassidy. And car number 30 will be Honda Team Moto. Honda Acura NSX GT3 2019, driven by Bertrand Baguette. Car number 34 will be Walking Horse Motorsports. BMW M6 GT3, driven by Christian Krognes. And car number 034 will be Modulo Drogo Corse, Honda Acura NSX GT3 2019, driven by Ryo Michigami. Car number 35 will be KCMG, Nissan GTR, Nismo GT3 2018. Katsumasa Chiyo will be behind the wheel. Callaway competition with Bingo Racing is car number 37. will be Callaway Corvette C7 GT3R driven by Shinji Takei. Car number 42 will be BMW Team Schnitzer, BMW M6 GT3, and Martin Tomsik will be driving. Car number 43 will be Team Straka Racing, Mercedes-AMG GT3. Christina Nielsen, she's the only lady driver, a women driver, in this race this weekend. And car number 44, Mercedes-AMG Team Strucker Racing with a Mercedes-AMG GT3 car will be driven by Gary Parfait. Car number 51, AMC Motorsports will be Porsche 997 GT3R driven by Andrew McPherson. Car number 60 is LM Corsa Porsche 911 GT3R driven by Juichi Wakisaka. It's actually his first time driving Porsche on a race, he said. Car number 75 will be Sun Energy One Racing, Mercedes-AMG GT3 driven by Kenny Hubble. Car number 77 will be Mercedes-AMG Team Graf Bamboo Racing, obviously Mercedes-AMG GT3, and will be driven by Maximilian Gates. Car number 87 is JLOC Lamborghini Huracan GT3 2019, driven by Takashi Kogure. And the sister car will be car number 88, JLOC Lamborghini Huracan GT3 2019, driven by Andrea Cardarelli. Car number 98 will be the Eros Racing Honda Acura NSX GT3 2019, driven by Philip Ma. Car number 107 will be Bentley Team M Sports, Bentley Continental GT3, Jordan Pepper. Car number 108 is also another Bentley by Bentley Team M Sports, Bentley Continental GT3. Alex Buncombe will be driving. And car number 112, Sato ISS Sports will be Mercedes-AMG GT3. Atsushi Sato will be driving. 125 will be Audi Sports, the Sport Team Absolute Racing. Audi R8 LMS GT3 2019, driven by Marcus Winkelhock. Car number 188 Pro Am Class GT Garage 59 will be Aston Martin V8 Vantage AMR GT3, Alex West. 777 will be the Car Guy Racing, Ferrari 488 GT3, driven by James Calado. Car number 911 will be EBM Porsche 911 GT3R. Sven Mueller will be driving. Car number 912 Absolute Racing Porsche 911 GT3R will be Dark Werner. And car 999 Mercedes-AMG Team Gruppe M Racing will be Maximilian Buch.
Well, that's a big mix of manufacturers and cars right down the field. Now, there's a mix of driver abilities there. There's bronze, there's platinums, there's golds and silvers all in there. It's all the precious metals. But coming to the end of the pit lane, the Nissan GTR or GT3 will be one of the first cars on track. Didn't quite notice which one it was. It wasn't one of the KCMG cars, I don't think. Oh, maybe it was. They've left their garage. As I can see in front of us, we're just opposite the pit lane for the two Bentley cars, 108 and 107, with their distinctive new livery on, but all of the cars are coming round to start qualifying. They're all going to be going out with those drivers you've just heard about. It's going to be quite an interesting one. There is some potential for rain this afternoon, Ronnie, and that could mix things up a bit. And this is the first time these cars have had any chance to go quickly, because for the last 2 days it's rained absolutely solidly.
Yes, and that's right. Yesterday it was completely rain session, and finally from this morning sunshine arrived here in Suzuka. They could have I think about 1 hour of free practice, and they could collect good data, but just 1 hour, so I guess many of the teams, they are still trying to find out the best setup with the dry tires. Now it's still good weather, but the weather forecast predict some rain for the evening, and maybe at the Pole Shootout we will have some surprise.
I think we're certainly going to have some surprise. I was surprised because I just looked down the pit lane and I couldn't see the back of a GTR, but actually there's an Audi on the front of the grid. You can see on your screen right now. The red light there sitting as the teams get running. Just 1 minute and 30 seconds till this session gets underway. Now, each driver's got to do their best to put their best time in. A lot of eyes are going to be on the Sol McLaren in the field, run by the Gainer team, but entered under the Plan X racing banner. Really distinctive looking car as well in that livery. I think it's a really good looking car, the McLaren, but driven, of course, by former Formula One world champion Mika Häkkinen. Be interesting to see how he gets on. His preparation, of course, for driving a GT3 car at Suzuka was driving an old McLaren Can-Am car in America. So it's not quite the preparation I'd have expected.
Yeah, that's right. But I think I'm sure he knows all the drivers lineup that are entering this race. Many fast drivers, so he needs to be, really committed to try to compete with them.
I mean, when was the last time he actually raced? Because I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Was it when he retired from Formula One?
He did the DTM.
Yeah, he was in DTM a couple of years.
With
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Mercedes, yeah.
And in my memories, I just remember DTM. After that,
It's been a while.
retired.
It's been a
and,
while, yeah.
In these days, like GT3 cars, they are getting very fast. And to bring these cars to the limit is not easy. You need a very good preparation. So it will be very interesting like to see Mick Hakkinen performance in this first qualify. And I'm Yukiko-san. I can introduce all the drivers that will drive in this Q1. So many talented drivers.
And as we,
it will be not easy for Mick Hakkinen, I guess.
Exactly, and well, he's about to find out because the flags go green. He hasn't gone to queue up in the pit lane just yet. About half the field are still sitting on pit lane, I guess waiting for a clear track or the opportunity to take to the track. A lot of teams just holding, keeping their powder dry, so to speak, and see the Straka racing. Well, most of the Mercedes teams are down there at the end. Nissan's all seem to be going out. The only non-GT3 car in the field, the Lotus Evora GT3, is taking to the track. And there is the McLaren just rolling out of its garage. Are they going to get going? That is Mika Hakkinen in the car.
It's Mika, yeah, it's coming out.
Car number 11, just sitting on pit lane.
The pit position of Mick Hakkinen's team is the last one, close to the last corner. So no one is behind, so you can.
Yeah, he don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about
Yeah.
coming from behind.
So we'll bring you the lap times as they start to come in, as people start to go quickly. At the moment, obviously, nobody's got a time, and the sectors are a little bit irrelevant because it's just the outlap. But the Picariello, an Italian for you, in car number 21. That's the Super GT. It's the car you quite often see in Super GT running in GT300. It quite often has a wonky sticker on the front.
Not as a regular driver. This
Yes, he's not one of the two, is he?
Wrestling, during the year we have the round 2 at Fuji, which is a 500-kilometer race. He's there as third driver, and we have the Fuji 500 miles. He was there. It was the beginning of the month as a third driver. So,
but that's a car with some real driving talent in it, because you've got Tomita, who's the normal Super GT driver, but alongside him, Richard Lyons, who's a joint Super Formula and Super GT champion, more than once in both.
Yeah, in 2004 he was one of the king drivers, foreign drivers here in Japan, and a very long career in this country for Richard Lyons.
But he's been with Audi for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess since more than 5 years,
Yeah.
more than 5 seasons. So he has a very good relationship with Audi and the Totsuyama Racing team. And we have this young driver Picariello, which is he is doing really well with Audi in the Asian Championships.
Well, the first car to start a lap will indeed be the first two cars will be the two KCMG Nissan GTR GT3s, followed by the black and yellow Honda NSX GT3, then the first of the BMWs, it's the blue Mercedes that's going through there as well. We'll start bringing you those sector times. Obviously, the fastest sectors so far, a little bit irrelevant, but we see Kamui Kobayashi is in one of those KCMG cars as well. So keep an eye on him. He is no slouch, as anyone who's watched him in pretty much all of the things he's raced. No.
Kamui is in he's in the Hudson Miku car.
Very good point.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's not a KCMG.
Yes, exactly. I'm a year out of date. Yes, well corrected.
Exactly.
Kamui, the team lineup has drivers with Nobutaro Taniguchi and Tatsuya Kataoka. They won a few championships here in Japan in the GT300 class, and it's a very popular team here in Japan.
It is.
Good Smile Racing.
It's the team manager. The team is owned by Ukyo Katayama.
Yeah, I think people that love Formula One know very well Ukyo Katayama. He used to be TRL driver at the beginning of the 90s and a very popular driver here in Japan. And
Yeah, so talking about like Formula One driver, you know, we've been talking about Mika Hakkinen, but we just can't forget about the other Finn.
that's right.
We have here, and Heikki Kovalainen.
Heikki Kovalainen.
He's driving with Nick Cassidy
With
and
Nick
Nick
Cassidy.
Foster, and it was funny. Like I was looking at the Instagram, and I think it was one of the pictures that Nick actually posted. Nick Cassidy posted and said, "I saw like they went on a karaoke or something. Like the picture they took kind of looked like a band picture, and like as it was talking about when Heikki was singing Backstreet Boys. So it's kind of like, you know, it's not Backstreet Boys, but they're probably like Backstreet Boys."
That's quite a good one. It's interesting to see that Hub Auto Ferrari is quite an interesting car
It
because
is.
Nick Cassidy is classified on my list at least as a gold driver.
I know.
Bear in mind he's the current points leader in Super Formula.
I wonder how he pulled that off, because why isn't he categorized platinum? I'm sure he's platinum quality driver, but he's got categorized as gold, and that should be a good advantage for him.
Yeah, I mean, it really should be, and you'd expect that he would be higher ranked than that, but hey, that's an advantage for that team.
Exactly.
You know, Heikki Kovalainen, of course, he's a platinum driver in that car.
Right, if you have a Formula One license, or if you have a Formula One license, or if you're a factory driver, you're pretty much automatically platinum. So
Oh, Nick Cassidy is a factory
driver, isn't he?
He's a Toyota driver, yeah.
Yeah, Nick actually represented Lexus in Super GT
Yeah, so
and Toyota in Super Formula. So
This is very definitely a factory
he's like
driver.
completely a total factory driver here in Japan.
how do you pull that off?
And it's
Yeah, I'm
very
not quite sure how he's got that ranking there.
talking about Heikki Kovalainen. It's nice to see Heikki Kovalainen will compete with Mika Hakkinen. Both
Exactly, the Finns.
the Finns, so it's nice.
And he said it's the first time he's driving a Ferrari in a official race.
Ah, I see.
I'm a little bit confused with some of the drivers' lineups because the starting list that we've been given, I think maybe isn't correct because Nico Bastian is the fastest man. Was just until I said it the
Okay.
fastest man on track. He's now third, and he was meant to be the third driver in the number 75 Sun Energy Racing
Okay.
Mercedes, but he's out on track. But Maxi Goetz is now quickest in the number 77 Mercedes from Kraft Bamboo, and that's a 2:02.2. Now, we've seen the pole time from last year was 2:01, so we do
Right.
expect some slightly faster times from some of the platinum drivers, so it'll be interesting to see. But there's some quick laps popping up now. I'm seeing down the bottom of our screen, Marco Bononomi. It was on a lap, and he has just jumped up into third position with a 2:02. So the low 2:02 seems to be the mark at the moment. Remember that it is an aggregate time, though, between the three drivers. So if you see a car consistently in the low 2:02s, they're likely to be in that top 20. Now, so far, 20 cars have got times on the board, though the number 6 car, that's the Wall Racing Adrian Dietz car, Lamborghini, and Adrian Dietz himself is rather off the pace with a 2:35. I'm not sure if everything's right with that car right now. But that's a very distinctive looking car when you have a look at it on the screen. That is the number 6.
Ah, there is a car with puncture coming out from 130R.
That's early, isn't it? That's an early problem. That is I keep on wanting to call it the Flying Lizard Porsche, but of course it's not a Flying Lizard Porsche. It's the absolute racing car,
yeah.
and that should be Dirk Werner at the wheel, though I'm not entirely sure it is. Because
It says awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not who's on our list for the starting driver, so they've changed that since we got our lists given to us.
Ah, another car has trouble.
That's the Aston Martin, isn't it? Yeah.
Ah,
No, it's the whole bonnet's come off the Aston Martin there.
Oh my gosh.
No, he's either binned it or that's finger trouble, and I suspect at this point that must be finger trouble.
Yeah.
There's going to be an embarrassed mechanic down there.
Yeah, that's right. It would be very
Garage
hard.
59. Well,
Is that the 188?
no, that I think is the 188. Yeah, that's the Garage 59,
Yes,
not
it's
188.
slow on
Yeah.
track. So I mean, obviously, that kind of must have hit somewhere, right?
Well, no, I think
Is it?
I think the mechanic hasn't done up the bonnet properly.
Oh, just didn't fasten it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a trouble up to the mechanics, I guess.
Well, just waiting for the times. Now, looking at my screen, I haven't got any times for Mika Hakkinen on the screen, but he's definitely on track because I can see him. There he is,
Right.
coming down on the back stretch. But we should be getting some sectors from him, but I'm not seeing any sectors from Mika Hakkinen at the moment. There he is in the Plan X McLaren.
Yeah, that's right. I think
He's
Mika
just-
Hakkinen was one of the last car that left
Yes.
the pit.
We should be
So-
seeing some sectors from him though, and they don't seem to.
Well, he's just on his first lap out, I guess. 'cause he
He's in
doesn't-
the out lap.
Yeah, he's in the out lap.
Still warming up the tires.
Yeah, just looking on the screen though, we don't have a. We do have a sector 2 now. It has appeared,
at
yes.
the, yeah.
So we'll find out how he's getting on. But there is Hatsune Miku, that very popular car. When we've done the Super GT commentary, we almost never say "Good Smile Racing" with Ukyo. We just say Hatsune Miku now.
Which is who is very popular also in Europe,
Exactly.
I guess, for people that
It's AI
love Japan.
characters, isn't it?
It's this Itasha livery, which means painfully embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you're not, and Hatsune Miku isn't an anime. So a lot of people say I made this mistake a couple of years ago, calling Hatsune Miku an anime. No, she's not. She's a Vocaloid, which is a thing apparently.
Wow, Sam,
Yes.
you are very familiar. Great.
And so yes, the Hatsune Miku 00 car, very popular. One of the cars that could compete, and that Aston Martin is still limping its way back, coming up to 130R. I wouldn't want to be there in a car that's a bit sick, and well, the white flags will be flying for that. Not because they're surrendering, but because it's a slow car on track.
It looks like he was about to stop. I mean, if there's no problem, as long as he could just kind of crawl back to the pit. And
Somebody just missed a chicane there, I think. There is a very slow-moving car. It was one of the Bentleys on the exit of the chicane, but didn't look like he was heading for pit lane, as we see Mika Hakkinen heading through the Degners. Named for Ernst Degner, a East German defector who then ended up riding for the Suzuki factory motorcycle team and was the first ever person to crash at Suzuka.
Dignet.
Yeah. And that's why it's called Degner.
Dignet,
Yeah.
exactly.
Riding on board now with Mika Hakkinen, coming through that final sector, looking for his lap times.
Yeah, he's on a flying lap.
They're relatively
getting his,
fairly decent. It was the middle sector there, over 20. Yeah, well, second
it's
sector.
not
We
bad.
have 4 sectors, which is a Japanese thing. Most tracks have 3 sectors, but we have 4 here.
Yeah, we have 4 sectors.
So on the
here.
second sector.
Now he's driving at sector 3, which is the high-speed one.
Yeah.
We have the 2 spoons curve. It looks nice. Sector 3 is fast.
And the Garage 59 Aston Martin has
Ooh,
recovered
we have a
back to the
spinner.
pits. And that's it's been in the wall. That's the Lotus, I think. Yes, indeed it is. That is the GT300 mother chassis.
Yeah, the mother chassis driven by the gentleman driver
That's not good news for them because they're going to have to get that back and
Takahashi-san in
fix it.
the
Takahashi-san.
in the session 1 having a crash test. That is really penalizing the team.
Oh, Mika Hakkinen crosses the line and goes 13th with a 203.3.
13th.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's not bad.
Good.
Not bad for an old fella.
Wow.
An old gentleman driver. No, that's competitive, I have to say.
And it's nice. It's P13 and just behind him there is Katsumasa Chio. He's driving
He is in the KCMG car.
GTR. And now Chio is also on a flying lap. Let's see if he can go in front of Mika Hakkinen. I think he will be a bit shocked if we come back to the pit and we'll find himself behind Mika Hakkinen.
Well, the Craft Bamboo Mercedes are at the top of the timesheets at the moment, just ahead of the number 107 Bentley with Pepper at the wheel. Nick Cassidy has put that Ferrari into 3rd position. Marco Bononomi is in 4th. And Kamui Kobayashi, 5th position in Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, that's right. And Bononomi now is in P4. He's driving with Honda Acura NSX. So the car is Honda is doing well.
Yeah, I'm desperately trying to not say he's in an Audi because I always used to comment. Only time I've ever commentated on Marco Bononomi is when he's in an LMP1 Audi.
The car number 18 Kobayashi is Takashi Kobayashi. You keep missing it.
It's not Kamui. Yes, of course.
Because Kamui is
That's
in
right.
00.
Yes.
double
So
zero.
it means we have 2
Kobayashis.
Hondas, 2 Kobayashi and the
Yes.
2 Honda's cars in the top 5.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really good for the home
That's
team.
right.
I mean,
yes.
they should put T Kobayashi or
Yes,
K Kobayashi,
that's it.
right?
So if you see the number 18, it means
Yeah,
Takashi Kobayashi.
it's confusing because I mean, you could kind of imagine the Kamui being in a KCMG car,
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. So yes, that's why I'm
And
making.
so the 18 is not even a KCMG
No,
car this weekend.
we
It's,
have
it's 018.
And yes, we have the 018 and the 18,
18.
and that's why I was confusing myself.
Yeah, the Kamui Kobayashi teammate Taniguchi-san is now in P12. 23.
Yeah, that's not good.
And he's a king here in Japan. And
I mean, no one
struggling.
better. Knob.
He's a rock star here.
Well, currently
Yeah,
there's
right.
22 ones
Yeah.
better. So he needs, and he's one of the quicker drivers in that car. So 2051 is really not what you expect to see from that car.
Almost 3 seconds off the pace.
And when you know that there's a Mercedes on the top of the stack as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, that's
If there's
right.
a very
Very
slow-moving
Right.
Nissan coming towards us, the red flag is
Yes,
flying.
it's red flag, and I think it's just like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I don't know if they're gonna they're probably restart for 3 minutes
And
left,
I'm
right?
not quite sure why we have a red flag.
I guess like the Lotus,
Because of the Lotus,
the stopped on.
It was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
They couldn't recover it.
It wasn't a big hit either.
Yeah, the place that is spun off. I mean, they stopped the car. It's the place. The position seems to be quite safe.
Yeah, I'm
not
surprised
really
that that's a red flag. And it would.
A dangerous place.
Well, that's very bad news for quite a lot of people if that's the case. I mean, notably anybody who's not outside that top 10. And
Yeah, we have the Nissan KCMG, the car number 18, that they are still in 2 minutes 10 seconds. So
Yeah,
they hasn't
that's-
attacked yet.
and as we were talking, the Hatsune Miku car down in 23rd position with that 205. That's not really good enough for them. So yeah, there's a
Yeah,
few
Taniguchi
cars.
was on his flying lap, and he had to slow down at sector 3. That's why he's 3
good news.
seconds behind.
Good news for Mika Häkkinen, though.
Yeah, he's Peter Ting is in front of Katsumasa Chio, in front of Andrea Caldarelli, Gary Puffett, Japanese superstars, Ryo Michigami, Juichi Wakizaka. So, honestly, very impressive driving from Mika Häkkinen.
But I guess it says all the cars are back in pit, so I guess there's nobody stopped on a track side, I guess. So.
So also the Lotus is
No,
back.
yeah, I guess. Well, it says that all cars are back in the pit lane.
So all the cars now, most of the cars they are lining up to the pit lane.
It's okay. It's
So I guess
it's 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left.
3.5 minutes left.
Out lap and one flying
One
lap.
flying lap.
And the point is, there are cars that they were on their flying lap, so they already
they've lost
used the
that,
tires
yeah.
a
Lost
bit.
the tires.
And they're in Suzuka, like if you attack
And
one
they're in,
lap,
and we've 3 minutes. 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left.
3:20.
Yeah, they're not gonna. I guess what's one flight? It's one lap, isn't it?
A few cars, so they are lining up at the end of pit lanes. A few cars, the cars that already got their lap time, they don't need to go out.
So probably the ones on the bottom, I guess, can't have to go back and score some time. Because
Yeah, approximately
it's a
15 cars that are
Yeah.
about 15 cars that are lining up. Okay, green light. They are pitting out.
yeah, because like 3 cars doesn't have their time recorded, I guess. So they
Yeah,
have to,
one is the car that they had the trouble before in the outlap.
Yeah.
With the tire puncture, which is I
Yeah,
guess Olsen.
188 was the
The
one that was
Porsche.
coming back slowly, right?
And then you have the
125 and
West
912.
with the Aston Martin. They have the front bonnet trouble.
Yeah, that's the that's
right.
912.
So maybe for them it's good news. They could have the time to maybe to repair. Let's see if
Go back.
Yeah, they are on their outlap, so they can attack the time. So good news for them to repair the cars on time. And then we have also Marcos Winkelhock.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Winkelhock, obviously well known for that one-time Formula One run, led the race.
That's right. He was driving for Midland.
It was
I guess.
Spiker. It was
Spiker.
called then, yeah, it was the orange cars.
I think he got an amazing top 3 or pole position in Nürburgring. It was with.
He led the race. You know, he started at the back of the grid, but had the right tyre choice, and then ended up leading the race.
He was leading the race by
almost lapped the field, and
Yeah,
then the
there was-
safety car came out and he
Yeah,
lost it
that's
all.
right. I think for Spiker, that was really. I remember that race.
And that
The
was
car was like 3-4 seconds off the pace,
Yeah.
but by circumstances it was leading, so it was very exciting.
started the race on full wets. Everybody else was intermediates.
Okay.
Well, he's got to go out and set a time, so the pressure's on him once again. So that one lap in Nürburgring might not be enough. Well, he needs to do something special here at Suzuka.
So we have about 15 cars on track, so it would be quite okay to find a clear lap. But as you can see, like all the cars, they are like compact in one group and flashing, trying to find the right space. So we have a 1 minute 20 seconds left, so just one chance. We have even the, as I said before, the Nissan GTR KCMG cars, car number 18, driven by Alexander Imperatori. Potentially this car can be in the top 10. We have again.
Oh, it's another puncture there. That's the
for the same
912.
car.
Yeah. No, it's the absolute racing car this time. Last time it was the other one, wasn't it? But yeah, that's the.
So let's see.
No, it is the same one, isn't
It's
it?
the
It's the
replay.
same car.
Home straight.
That's repeat. It says
No, this is the replay. That's the replay.
Yeah.
Replay. This
So the
is a home
tyre
straight.
let go, just going down start. That's an unusual
Very
place
unusual.
for a
I mean,
isn't
this is
it?
the first flying lap. I guess there is something wrong. Some part of the car maybe touching the body, touching the tire, because when they are going under G in the middle of the corner. Here we have a Taniguchi, who is the very popular Azemi Miku car.
Yeah, he lost a little bit of time there though. He got
Yes,
the tail out, and that's not good because he's out of time.
He is pushing very hard and he's behind the GTR of Imperatori. So let's see the sector times. Imperatori 34.4.
They're currently 23.
The Taniguchi sector 1 is 5 tenths lower compared to Imperatori. Imperatori has a good sector 1.
Checker flag is out.
Yeah,
Flag
so
is out.
Imperatori is doing well also at sector 2.
Looking through the field. There's no one doing purple Texas at the moment. So there's not any huge times. The only car that is really Imperatori, as you say, in the 018
Yeah, Imperatori is doing well. He has the
he's
chance
well.
to get, I think, close to the position where Mikakinen is, around the 10th position.
Wow.
And the Aris Racing Honda is on what looks to be their best lap. Mar at the wheel of that. And they're the only two cars that I can see, but on the other screen there's a few cars down the bottom who are improving as well.
So we have
Hakinen's paddock right now.
Hi, Takashi. You're with Mika?
He's out of the car right now, and when I have a time, I try to catch him and get the comments on the qualifying and the tires condition too.
Okay, so you don't have him right now, but you have you'll be able to catch him later.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So when I catch him, I will let you know again.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Well, just looking at the cars coming through, all those guys who were on laps didn't look to be improving, Ronnie. They were dropping off. The number 34 car there is on a lap, but isn't going to improve. And down the bottom of the field, no, there's only one car that's got a chance of improving, and he doesn't. So that is your checkered flag order. Car 75 on the top of the stack.
Yeah, I think all the cars that they completed
that's
their
it.
attack lap. We have the
Nico-
last car coming back.
So Nico Bastian, top of the table, 202.1, followed by Maxi Goetz and Pepper, Van Voort, Imperatori, Nick Cassidy in the Ferrari.
Yeah,
Winkelhock
Imperatori-
did improve. He got it up. He got the job done on that single lap.
That's right. Winkelhock is on P7. We have Imperatori on P5 and Bastian on P1. Wow.
Most of the cars were turned down. Now what happened is they'll come back to the pits, swap the drivers around, stick a bit of fuel in it, and we'll go again.
That's right.
And hopefully it'll be a bit smoother for in the next stint without the red flag interrupting some of those quick laps. So I think some of those people.
So now Hakkinen, he was P13, now he's down to P19.
Yeah.
We had 6 cars that could improve.
Nob
quite,
Taniguchi got
a
up
lot.
to 20th, so just inside the bracket.
Yeah. Still a good position, I guess.
Gary
We have,
Paffett's out of there though.
Gary Paffett
Down
is
to
behind.
22nd. That's Yuki Rakisaka as well. 25th position. Roman Duma down in 26th in the 911 Porsche.
Is P23, but the lap time is also not so fast.
Yeah,
It was,
you'd expect more
4.
from him as well.
Yeah, almost 2 seconds lower compared to the top car. I didn't expect to see Andrea Quintarelli on the Lamborghini's car. He's P21. He knows very well Japanese circuit, Suzuka. He used to drive in Japan with Super Formula and many years in Super GT.
He was with the car last year for this race also with the JLOC.
And he's a factory driver for Lamborghini.
Exactly.
Lamborghini Europe with the team is he's a team principal at the FFF Racing.
Right.
So Lamborghini looks not in good shape here, at least in this first qualifying one.
You never know because like there's two other drivers, and we you know.
Yeah,
how it's gonna
sure,
turn
but
out.
Quintarelli should be the ace driver in the team. So, as Italian, he's Italian as well. So
Yeah, well, and
I'm,
yeah, because he's been racing here for so long and in Japan, and so
I would be
There's a-
happy to see him, like fighting for the top positions for the victory, final victory. We have the Japanese superstar, the two superstars, which they are like P24 and the P25, veteran drivers. Ryo Michigami on the Honda Acura NSX P24 and Juichi Wakizaka, used to be for many years Toyota's factory drivers in Super GT, 3 times a Super GT champion, is P25.
Do you think these guys are struggling for setup without having any dry running yesterday and the day before?
Might be,
Yeah.
but Michigami is driving with the same
This
car
car
in the.
It's his own car in the Super GT.
He's
Yeah.
owning.
But it's different tyres, you see.
Yeah,
different
well,
tires.
true.
Yeah.
But they were here last year also, so they have some sort of experience, and maybe that could be advantage compared to like Juichi, because like he's in his Porsche, right? And I think it's the first time he said he'd ever driven in a race.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah,
Juichi,
Juichi.
Yeah.
Wakizaka is, I think, the first experience to drive with a Porsche car. I was surprised to see, because we have the image of Juichi as a really Toyota's driver, to see him on a Porsche.
I mean,
was
that's-
very
He's a
unusual.
Toyota ambassador.
There is a scattering of Toyota and Lexus drivers throughout the grid because obviously there are no Toyota or Lexus cars in the field, but the drivers fancy doing it anyway. So you'll find, Cassidy in a Ferrari.
That's right. Before in the paddock we were working with Sam, and we found
Yeah.
Nick Cassidy was there. I said, "What are you doing with the Italian manufacturer? You are Toyota."
But Heikki Kovalainen as well. I mean,
Yeah, Ishiura is also he's in the McLaren.
In the McLaren.
so they just
Yeah, that's good. I think it's good for like the Japanese drivers to experience like in this kind of like environment and like different cars. I mean, if they're representing manufacturers, I think it's a good opportunity for them to race other cars because, you never know what you have
you
until
work,
yeah.
with
Unless-
different people,
exactly.
engineers, like you can get the good information, it reach your experience. So
'Cause the thing
for
is,
sure
like-
it's good. But usually we have the image, like the strong image. This driver is like really Toyota's driver or Nissan and so on. Is at first it's a bit strange, when you see.
Yeah.
This
The thing
change
is
of-
that because like we have like Ronnie, you obviously know like we have a lot of like very good drivers, and little is known for them except for the like the diehard fans of Super GTs in Europe and America, and I personally feel like they should be more known in the world, and they should be given more opportunity to race outside of Japan and like different cars and be more exciting. I mean, for their career also.
I completely agree. I mean, a lot of the drivers who come out to Japan and the Japanese drivers themselves, outside of because Super GT and Super Formula are only really emerging to the world at the moment.
Exactly.
A lot of these drivers aren't really known outside. I mean, we've seen it with Naoki Yamamoto recently. That people are saying, "Who's this guy who might race a Formula One car this year?" And they've never heard of him because he
that's
hasn't
right.
raced in Europe.
And he's a double champion.
And they're
In
quite-
2018, he won like a Boss
Yeah.
Championship Super GT 500 class. He was partnering with Jenson Button in the Super Formula, which is the level is very amazing. So high, so high.
Well, one of the things you're probably just seeing is the marshals and the rescue team out with the witches' broomsticks, cleaning up the track as is customary here in Japan. The qualifying 2 session gets underway at 35 minutes past the hour, so just under 10 minutes time or 7 minutes time. And the teams, I'm looking down at seeing what the teams are doing. It's a tyre change for the one of the KCM G cars, a few others. One of the BMWs is changing its tyres. Some are sitting on the same tyres, and driver changes obviously up and down the field. No one doing fuel, by the look of it, that I can see at the moment.
Sam, we should talk to Takashi. Takashi, are you there? Takashi? Okay, you there? Takashi?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you talk to a special guest?
Well, actually, you're talking with me at the moment.
Wow! I envy you, Takashi.
Yeah. How is your day going?
Mika Kinen.
I was wondering how long it would take you guys to work that one out.
Nice to meet you. We are here at the commentary box,
Good.
doing the live commentary.
Do you have a lot of listeners?
have, yes.
Huge. Thanks to you.
Yes, we have listeners in
I'm so
Europe
happy.
and North America. I mean, anywhere they could watch the GT World, and
That's
also,
brilliant.
yes.
That's brilliant. That's good. So we are talking a big number of people, and great fans of motor racing, great fans of the McLaren GT3. That's really cool.
Mika, it's Sam up in the box. Now, you've just qualified, well, you put the car into P19, in which I think is your first qualifying session in quite a long time. Could you tell us a little bit about your run? Because it was a little bit interrupted, wasn't it?
Yeah, I tell you, you're absolutely right. I think, like you said, it's been quite a while since I've been doing a proper qualification run, particularly also with this car, with these tires. So it is always a bit of learning, I have to say. And when I did my run, everything went smooth. My out lap was good. My first flying lap was good. But second flying lap I was feeling good with the car. But then I was aware that the tire temperatures, tire pressures in my third flying lap could be ultimate. So it should improve the time quite rapidly, but then came the red flag, so I had to come in.
Well, that's disappointing for you. But I mean, coming into this race meeting, I mean, you prepared by driving a Can-Am car. Is that normal?
I was driving a Can-Am car. Absolutely. In Laguna Seca in USA, we did the promotion with McLaren. We had a great time over there with American fans, and it's good to see that way, like in USA, how excited the people are in this motor racing. And every different categories, not only Formula One, not only about the Indy or NASCAR. They are very knowledgeable about motor racing. So I did drive a Can-Am car 1970 McLaren over there. That was a great fun. Very nice car, very powerful. Of course, you got to compare to the latest McLaren GT3 car, what we are driving 720S over here in Suzuka. You cannot compare to that, but it was an experience.
Wow. Mika?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, hi. So you obviously have a great fan base here. And also, not just the people who are watching the GT world around the world, but I believe there's some people in the track who are listening to Pit FM. And so could you give, you've obviously met a lot of fans over the weekend, and could you give some few words to them?
Oh, what, you mean some kind of message?
Yes.
Oh, message is definitely. I want to tell them all the best regards and have all the mega fun. Enjoy about this great race weekend. It's 10 hours. And of course, you have to support me. Nobody else. Support me.
Okay, that's a strong message. Okay, we'll put a support Mika. Root for Mika.
Have a great day. Ciao. Bye.
Thank
Ciao,
you.
grazie.
Thank you.
Ciao, thanks.
Bye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Good
So
job,
guys,
Takashi.
that was from Mika. That was
Fantastic.
really great. The time we could get comments from him.
Exactly. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
It was in a rush, so I didn't have a time to ask for myself. So he just took the microphone
Yeah, that's
himself
good. Yeah,
and he just started talking, which is great.
Exactly. Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great job done there. Well, the cars are beginning to line up at the end of pit lane. The flags are fluttering. Still 3 minutes to go before the green light comes out. Hatsune Miku flag flying in the grandstand. Award for the most popular car here at the Suzuka 10 Hours. That's going to be voted on by you, the fans. So the link, I think, has been posted on Twitter by RJ O'Connell of Super GT World. So go on his Twitter and he'll have a look at the link, or the Intercontinental GT Challenge Twitter account as well. They have posted that link as well. So if you want to pick for Mika Hakkinen, Hatsune Miku, or even Nick Cassidy for the most popular driver in the field, Ronnie has already voted, and I bet it was for Sugio Matsuda.
Yeah, that's sure. My Super GT teammate. So he's on the track now. Sugio will be driving in the third session, so we need to wait to see his action. And now there is on his car on the first section there was Katsumasa Chio and Joe Shaburdo, Australian driver.
Oh, look, they've got the flag fans. Now, you see this at every Japanese race, this synchronized flag waving session. Now, these guys, they're all the Hatsune Miku flag fans there, but what you'll see is the fans will wave their flag for their specific car as it goes past the pits, and they'll do this for the entire duration of the race. And when Toyota are at Le Mans and some of the other teams have gone to Le Mans in the past, the Hatsune Miku car in Spa as well, they've waved that flag for the full 24 hours, which is
very
seriously
impressive. Amazing.
That's a serious devotion.
And for us, for
the
drivers,
Nissan has a very strong fan base.
Even
Nissan has a
very long history. I think it's the longest, the hottest fans.
They didn't do so much flag waving at Le Mans though, because the car didn't run.
And for us, when you are waiting out of the pit for the action with the green light, and you see at the grandstand, the main stand in front of you, and all these fans waving the flags, cheering up for you, it gives a lot of motivation, and this is one of the reasons you want to do well on track and pushing hard.
Now I'm looking at my timing screen here next to me, and I'm wondering if it's going to give us the aggregate time or the two best times, because that's going to be incredibly confusing if it doesn't.
And the point is, as you can see in the first session, from P1 until P16, 16 cars inside 1 second.
Yeah, I know, and there's cars that are clearly, we mentioned it before, there's cars out of position now, and because Romain Dumas in that 911 car, he is one of the best drivers in that, on the grid. Now they've got Mathieu Jominet and Sven Muller in the car as well, but they're the gold drivers, not the platinum drivers. So the platinum driver is off the pace. He's now relying on the gold drivers to bring them back up into that top 20. Otherwise, they're out of it. I mean, it's a long race, but still, there's a lot of money at stake. There are huge amounts of cash prizes. RJ O'Connell worked out that if you were a Super GT team, you qualify on pole overall, you win the race, and you do a couple of other things, 340,000 euros in prize money, which is more than, I believe, the purchase price of the Corvette GT3.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a lot of motivation for the drivers. I don't know the agreement that they have with the team, who is going to get the money.
The driver's going to get the money or the team's going to get the money.
But I think some of the money for sure will go to the drivers.
Exactly.
And even the race distance is 10 hours. Today is qualifying day, and I think every driver, every team, they want to be on front, even if the race will be long endurance race, but the qualifying is important.
Okay, Takashi.
Yeah, now I have...
Okay, we have another friend with us?
Yeah, I have Andrea with me.
Okay. Andrea.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hey, this is Atsuko here at FM. We have Ronnie and Sam with us.
And then now I would like to ask Andrea how was his qualifying and what happened during the qualifying.
Okay. Andrea?
So, Andrea.
Hi.
Yeah.
So how was your qualifying?
Well, thank you for the question. It was quite bad. No, very bad luck, unfortunately. I usually don't like to speak about luck in racing, but unfortunately we went from the pit, and I think at the wrong timing. And we on my attack lap, I found 2 yellow flags. I start again, and then I found the red flag. So basically, my only lap was on full yellow flag, so I couldn't do much. But the car looks pretty okay, so I'm sure that Marco and Dennis, they will do a good job for Q2 and Q3.
Thank you very much. Ciao Andrea, tutto bene?
Ciao Ronnie.
Tutto bene?
Talk to you later.
Tutto bene.
Grazie per le informazioni. See you. I will come later to your pit to say hello. Thanks.
Okay,
good luck.
Bye guys.
Ciao,
Bye.
grazie. Ciao.
I don't know if that's a promise or a threat, Ronnie. But fantastic work down from Taka down in the pits. As you can see, the second session is now well underway. The cars are on their outlaps, and we're going to start seeing some flying laps are getting underway. Once again, the KCMG cars, some of the first out of the pits. Is that because you want to avoid any yellow flag incidents or losing a lap because of red flags? You just want to get the lap on the board, because it is pretty crowded out there on track.
Yeah, that's right. I think the optimum time is to wait at the last part of the session, but seeing what happened in the first qualifying, when you have this kind of red flag, I think now some teams change their mind. They prefer to go out straight away. But as you can see now, we have the Nissan GTR of the GTNet car.
And that's the Super Tight Q champion, I believe.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
I heard that maybe if they win this race, because there's a special rule between the Super Taikyu is that if you win any points that you gain on this race, you could swap with the points you gain on the first race in.
That's right. Yeah, this can be counted as a point scoring round of the STX class, I believe, of Super Taikyu.
And the thing is, you could swap, and because they I think retired on the race here this spring, so they have no points. So any points they gain here will be added points, and pretty much they could get very close to winning championship.
But there are so many, because also you've got the Spa Suzuka Awards, you've got the Asia Awards, you've got Super GT guys, and you've got obviously the Intercontinental GT Challenge as well, and so many different points connotations going on. We've got 10 hours to work through those tomorrow, but it's going to be, it is mighty complicated. It's looking though, for me, I'm going to be looking to see the race itself and who's going to win. Right now we've got the Honda, that black and yellow, well, bumblebee coloured Super GT Honda,
It's true.
And that is that. I do like this mix of cars from different parts of the world, and that's something that you're only really seeing in this race. You're not seeing so much in the Spa 24 Hours or any other Intercontinental GT Challenge races, but here the Suzuka 10 Hours is becoming something a little bit special with this mix of cars. And I hear already rumours about different cars coming for next year, such as Jensen Button's team, the Rocket Racing Hondas, I believe, may well be here next year, run by Bob Neville.
Oh wow. That's something for fans to look forward to.
It is indeed, and we've all seen the comments from Jan Mardenborough saying he wants to go at this next year as well, so it'll be interesting to see where he rocks up.
Wow, he's pushing very hard, the NSX, driven by the Japanese driver.
A little bit too hard, I think. Into the Deglers there, and using all of the
I've never
curves.
seen using the curves.
I don't think that's the quick way of doing it.
This is Degner 1. He could keep the car on track. It's a very dangerous place to wow.
Yeah, that wasn't quick. It was probably quite scary.
I think he lost a few tenths there.
Yeah. Well, as the times start coming in for this second session, the 77 car is still looking very competitive. That's the Craft Bamboo Racing car. Now it's Lucas Stolz at the wheel, and he has gone top of this session so far with a 2:02.3. So a nice average to the first driver as well, and they are topping the times. Now we are getting the aggregated times on our screen, so we will give you the positions as they go. Christoph Hassa in the 125 car now puts that up to second
that's
position.
The Honda up garage. They were on their flying lap. They had a mistake at the same place that the Motul NSX.
In the Deckness as well, yeah. Okay. Struggling in there. Well, we're watching that Ferrari at the moment.
We have the first 2 minutes.
2:01.9.
2:01.9.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was Foster in the number 27. That's why we were watching that Hub Autocorsa Ferrari. And yeah, Nick Foster has done a great job with that. And well, keep an eye on that car, because Cassidy was pretty quick in it as well. And that has, on the aggregate times, that's put them top of the timesheets as well. So really, again, on a mission.
On the third session, we will have behind the wheel Heikki Kovalainen. So this lineup is very strong. Drivers lineup.
Well, there's the 911 car disappearing off the screen. The producer obviously didn't feel too interested in that. More interested in this celebration livery Team WRT Audi going off the track. I don't think he's going to find time doing that, and might even get a track limits penalty.
Yeah.
And Audi came up with two special liveries to celebrate old cars. This one is in apparently Nogaro blue, because a road car was painted that colour once or something. They should have gone for a more historic livery, I think. Not the biggest fan.
We have the Audi, the car number 259 is really doing well.
That's the one we're watching. That's the Nogaro blue Team WRT Audi with Linda at the wheel.
I guess the sector time, let's see. The link can be.
Crosses the line, and indeed those fastest.
That's fast.
Yeah,
that's fast.
2:01.49, and I think that's quicker than last year's pole time.
It's 5 tenths quicker than the Ferraris in second position. Very impressive lap time. They are on the top also on the aggregate time.
And that Team WRT car is one of those cars that can can get that prize from the Spa Suzuka Award and get a chunk of cash for that. It's awarded to the cars that go furthest in those two races combined, and that is one of the cars in it. Well, we're looking now at the Walkenhorst BMW. That's number 34 car driven by Nicky Katzberg. Crossing the line. That's another quick time of 2:01.9. And there's some. No, it seems like this session's quicker. It has clouded over, and I don't know if it's going to make a big difference.
For sure, and I think the track, especially in Suzuka, when you have rain like that, you have a lot of improvement by track condition. I think more rubber on the track, more grip, easier to bring the car to the limit.
You could see the timing monitors. It says red flag procedure, car number 5143, 9 under investigation. I mean, we don't have any red flag in this session.
No, that's from the
previous session.
That's from the last session,
right,
when
so
the red flag came out. Did they set fast times under the red flag?
So there may be a change in the positions and.
Yeah, they might get their wrist slapped, they might get a fine, or they might get their times disqualified. So we'll see, but we can only go on the times we've got, which are provisional, of course, as everything in racing is, until I think an hour after the official sign a bit of paper. But we're looking at the Modulo Corsa Honda at the moment, going down the back stretch towards 130R. There it is. One of these cars that's come over from the Super GT Championship. And
we have the Japanese driver.
not setting the not setting the timing screen on fire. It's their quickest time so far, by the look of it. So it could be a low 2:02 as it comes out.
Michigami-san, his teammate, was I think around the P25 in the first session. Much faster. Let's see. Yeah, 2 minutes 2.5. 2 minutes 02.5. It's not bad. Lap time of Watson. Now they are up to P17 on the aggregate time. P18 now, the Honda car.
Well, we can see your chats coming in, your comments coming in. Dan on PC says he likes how every commentator has a different accent.
Really? We have the British accent of Mr. Sam, the Italian one of myself.
Myself?
Atsuko-san is American?
Well, yeah, I mean, I prefer to call it Canadian.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Canadian said.
Hiroki Kato now, that's Kato crossing the line in the Lotus in a 2:03. They are actually getting some lap time out of that car. Now that's only good enough to put the little Lotus Evora, that is the mother chassis GT300 car, up to 29th on aggregate position, but that's still a good lap as well. Yeah. An interesting line through the exit of 130R from one of the Mercedes there.
I think with the speed you enter here.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even a track limit. That's just like.
Oh wow!
Is that on the curb?
That's scary. That's scary. I think the speed there was around 270.
Wow. I think the drivers learned that the right rear tyre doesn't grip particularly well on grass.
But it's good in these days. You have a lot of tarmac escape.
Yeah.
Yes.
The 30 years ago, it was a bit different. Doing that mistake, I guess.
Eyes on the KCMG Nissan.
Yeah, Bourdon, the Australian driver, is pushing hard.
Looking across at the timing screen.
At 18 is Liberati, is the second car of.
And he's got a decent first sector. Second sector not so good, but not terrible either. We're waiting for the third and fourth sectors. The TV director seems to think it's a good lap. The timing screen doesn't necessarily agree.
Yeah, I guess difficult for him to improve his lap in the previous one. He did already 2:02.8. Sector times it was fast in the first sector, but
that was a good lap though, 2:02.5.
I could improve a bit.
Yeah,
nice.
that was a very good improvement.
He improved a lot at sector 1 and sector 4. In the two middle sectors, seems like he had degradation, but.
Yeah, he got it done.
I think he did very well at the 130R. Good carry good speed and a good braking at the chicane and the traction.
Well, the brief on board there from the Hatsune Miku car is a Lamborghini really pushing hard. That's a number 88 J-Lock car. Raffelli at the wheel. That's another one of the cars come over from the Super GT Championship. And, well, he was really pushing hard into 130R. I thought he was going to put it on the grass as well and have a moment. Crosses the line with a 2:02.1. That's a very competitive time, and that's good enough to put him up into...
P15.
Yeah, it said 8th on the screen, but it was P15 on aggregate.
Aggregate.
Yeah.
P8 on this session.
Here comes the Sun Energy Mercedes. I love the livery of this. It just looks like something somebody did in a computer game in the 80s, and it just looks fantastic for it.
Yeah.
Coming out of the final chicane, across the line past 75 with a 202.4. That's good enough to put that number 75 car into 5th position. Grenier, good job on that.
Yep, very good job.
It's car number 75. That's the car with that's a Sun Energy car, right?
That's right, yeah. That's the one that looks like the front and rear are on fire. KCMG's
It
other
has a
car.
crocodile in front.
Is it a crocodile? No, that's the yellow one.
Oh, that's the other one.
That's the
Okay,
yellow.
you're
That's the
right.
yellow Mercedes. You can just see down there,
Okay,
sitting
right.
at the end of the pit lane. We're looking at the KCMG number 35
Right.
car, the bird on the wheel of that. He's gone too
He's
fast this
improving
sector.
his lap
really
time.
improving.
Very
yeah.
good.
Now they really need to improve because their best lap time wasn't great. But he's definitely going to improve on this lap if he holds it together. He's just got the chicane to go.
It was very good sector times in the first 2 sectors.
Hitachi-
Some drop on the third one. Let's see.
The Hitachi Automotive Systems chicane, as it's currently called. Well, I just call it the chicane because they change the name all the time. And coming to cross the line with a 2:02.2. That's a very good time there for the number 35 car. And that is good enough to bump that up to 7th position overall.
Wow, that's very quick.
Yeah.
Very nice lap.
And Mappelli on another lap in the J-Lock Lamborghini. Really throwing it around again into that final chicane. It doesn't look very stable under braking, that car. It really, you see it. I was waiting to try and point out to Ronnie, but he wasn't looking at the screen at that point. The car is
The line,
all over the place.
the line, this last corner was really on the limit.
Yeah. So that was good enough, a 2:02.0 for that car, and that again is an impressive time. So they're moving up.
Yeah, it's really a pity that Andrea Caldarelli, we had him before in the interview. He had traffic yellow flags in his flying lap in the first section, but it's important to get inside the top 20s. You know? At the end, we have in the last session, the push shot out, everything will be reset.
Well,
No aggregate time, so
Exactly.
it's
And
important to be, even if you are first or 20s, doesn't change. You know?
Yeah.
it's interesting.
That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
You put your fastest driver in the car, and I was just looking at Grenier's lap in that Sun Energy Mercedes. He's across the line, and he's actually the fastest. He's not the fastest driver in that team's car, but a 2:02.4 plays against a 2:02.1. That was pretty impressive.
This
He's a
qualifying
silver driver.
Yeah, this qualifying regulation is really make the feel like you need a teamwork. You know, even if your teammate couldn't do well, he has some unluck. For example, in the first section, it's really important for those two drivers to don't give up, to try to get a quick time, and
There's always
to
an
have a very good
opportunity.
final aggregate time to get inside the pole shootout.
Well, it's just still a few cars finishing their laps on the checkered flag. One car
Well,
to watch.
Mappelli
Is on it.
still
yeah.
flat out. Still flat out.
Now watch him into this final
You
corner, Ronnie.
pretty much have clear lap.
Oh, that's
no.
quite.
We
We
didn't
will be
see.
having a look at that.
Oh no, I didn't see anything.
No.
He's Italian driver, you know. I'm
Exactly.
Italian, so I didn't see anything.
Now watch him though. He's going to be well on it through 130R as everybody is. But watch him braking into the chicane now. If he does it what he's done the last 2 laps, the car looks all over the shop into it.
Wow, using all the track.
He's smoother this time. Smoother, much smoother this time.
Mappelli was driving Super GT last season.
Yes.
In the
Yeah.
GT 300 class with a Lamborghini. So
In this car.
in this car,
JLOC, wasn't it?
JLOC,
Yeah.
he has good experience and knows
Not a
Suzuka
great
very
lap,
well.
though. No, the timing screen was. I was about to say that the clock didn't stop, but it was 2:01.9, so it was a great
Wow,
lap.
impressive.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, his third flying lap.
Yes, and that puts him up to 16th now on aggregate, so that's really good news for
Very
J-Lock.
good, very good. And to have 3 flying laps and to get the best time in the last one here in Suzuka with this very demanding surface, because the car is nice on tires. So it's promising for the race as well, for the race pace.
It is indeed. I mean, Team WRT, though, the Audi is on the top of the board at the moment. Car to number 25. The number 27, Hub Auto Corsa, though, the Ferrari, Nick Foster, but his lap was enough to put it into 2nd position. His lap, obviously, quicker than Nick Cassidy's. So there'll be some Australian-New Zealand rivalry going on in that car. Well, let's see what a Finnish man can do in it in the 3rd sector. Heikki Kovalainen about to take the wheel of that. Car 77 with Stoltz's lap time there. That is the Craft Bamboo car. That is looking consistently, well, quick across the board. 4th position, Christoph Haas in the number 125 Absolute Racing Audi. And then in 5th position, we saw him doing it, Grenier. Well, that was an impressive lap anyway in the Sun Energy car.
A bit disappointing to see the McLaren car of Mick Hakkinen down to P25 as aggregate time. So in the last section, Hiroaki Ishura will be in the car. He's a Super Formula double champion. He's a very talented driver, so
he's probably going to be the quickest in the car. It would be fun
I
if
guess.
he wasn't.
We'll
have to arrange.
So I guess Kubota is
Put pressure on him.
he's a gentleman driver.
Yeah.
So he did the lap time was not so impressive. But Ishura Hiroaki will be in the car for the last section, and I think Mick Hakkinen will be there.
Exactly.
Focus behind the screen to check the driving.
Kazu Kubota, actually, he's been competing in on a classic F1, right? He was in Silverstone or something. They had a classic F1
In the Silverstone Classic, yeah.
And
a few weeks ago.
he's won a couple races. So
It's interesting. I mean, there's some drivers and some cars on this leaderboard. I mean, Max Orido in the number 8 car, down in 23rd position. The Hatsune
Orido, the king of
King.
drifting
Yeah,
here in
drifting.
Japan.
And then the 00 Hatsune Miku, Kateoka, is just dragged it into 19th on aggregate, so just about to get into that pole
And
position.
then we have the yellow Honda Acura NSX. They did well in the first session, but in the second one, I think Matsuda Kosuke Matsuda, I think is well known in Europe. He was driving Formula 3. He was driving in America in Indy.
yeah.
He was Honda's young drivers.
We didn't really mention the returning Chris Goodwin, who's in one of the cars, and he hasn't driven at this track in, I believe, 20-something years.
Oh.
So some of the corners have actually changed shape in that time, so that might maybe why he struggles. Well, we're going to be back with Q3. Well, we're not going anywhere, but Q3 will start in 10 minutes' time.
That's right. So the Q3 would be nice to see. I mean,
we have more idea.
But it would be like nice to see. Would be in the top of the field. But
Exactly.
more of that, it would be who is going to be, inside the shutout for the pole. So the position around the 20s will be very critical there to watch even from us. Very exciting to watch the Q3.
I was just trying to look at your screen to see if the Evora ever got recovered and came back.
Yeah, he was back.
Yeah, I did see it out. I didn't see where
Hiroki Kato was driving. He pit out.
And he's way down our screen. He's on the second screen.
Yeah, he's 31st. Yeah.
He did 2 minutes 03.0, I guess.
0.90?
Yeah.
0.90.
So that actually, if they hadn't had that problem in the first driver, they'd be much higher up the order.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like if the car, when he pit out, the car looks good. I mean, not damage on the rear section.
Can't see it from where I'm sitting at the moment, but it's down that end behind a big screen. Or it's gone back into its garage. And well, I don't know why the camera is shaking. Is the question that came in just now? Windy, perhaps. So Suzuka circuit on a bright sunny day, looking out to sea. Down by the first corner. You're watching qualifying for the 10 hours of Suzuka. 48th running of the Suzuka Summer Endurance Classic and the penultimate round of the Intercontinental GT Challenge and a point scoring round of Super Taikyu. If you want to score points, that is. It depends how those Super Taikyu cars get on.
Okay, it's been announced that the Q3 will start at 2:05.
That's right, yeah. And mix of cars in the field from the Blancpain Endurance Series. Some of the cars you regularly see racing in Europe. Some of the GT300 runners from Super GT. And a few from Super Taikyu as well.
Yep.
Interesting to see how this event grows in years to come. Suzuka can accommodate a few more cars. And there's some very high-class GT3 and GT300 cars in Asia. I'm quite interested to see next year if the Lexus GT3s, whether they be Lexus GT3s or indeed Supras, which is the rumour.
Yeah, that's right.
Running here next year. And maybe some more of the JAF regulations GT300 cars like the Toyota Prius and indeed maybe the Subaru BRZ.
That's right. Prius is doing well in the Super GT 300 class.
My word. I know it's very loud in your car, but have you heard how loud the Prius is?
Wow, it's very impressive. But now they are running two cars, the Prius in the GT 300 class, and until last season, both cars they were on the hybrid FR midship engine, and from this season they challenged with the new engine there.
It's
the Prius.
It's the same engine that's used in the Lexus RCF GT3 car. However, it's got a completely different induction package on it, and some different pistons, I think, and a different crankshaft. So it's basically the same but completely different.
Completely different, still under development. They are struggling a lot. Usually we could see the Prius with the hybrid system fighting for the victories, and now that with the new challenge they are a bit struggling, but we count to see them fighting for top position soon.
And we hear rumours that GT500 might be going back to hybrids again in the coming years.
By regulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you know. And
there's the snatch tractor, in case I know people are asking if there's a snatch tractor at Suzuka. Yes, there is. I'm not sure what the chap on the back is doing.
They're trying to smooth out the gravel ground.
I think he's just having a laugh.
Having fun.
I mean, Mobility Land here at Suzuka, there's all sorts of fun rides to go on, and that looks like a new one. I quite like to go with that.
Very, very high technology, you know.
The gravel trap ride.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're trying to smooth out. It's like, Japanese Zen gardens. You put the rake and you kind of move it and making it and look at like a water.
These guys are just feeling left out with their broomsticks. It's going to be interesting to see now how this aggregate plays out, because we've still got some super fast drivers to come in this session. We've got Stephen Kane. Oh no, Stephen Kane I think is due out as well. But we've got some super fast drivers due in this session, and Heikki Kovalainen.
That's right.
First time in the Ferrari.
First time to see Kovalainen driving for Ferrari.
He was trying to learn to drive the car in the rain yesterday.
For sure. I'm not sure he's completely get used to the car.
When you get a new car like that, and of course the conditions yesterday were terrible, when you get a new car like that, is it a case of just working out where the buttons are and,
This is the first things, and very difficult to learn, Like,
don't hit the pit limit as we saw in an American race recently when you're trying to hit a light flasher or something.
That's right. The speed limit, the radio's button, the flashing button. You need and how to start the engine at first. If you don't start the engine, you don't go.
Yeah, another
the
driver.
Session is starting.
Yeah, another driver coming up for this session is Yuki Sekiguchi. He's another. He's another Toyota factory driver. He's driving Lamborghini, I guess. Yeah.
It's very strange the way Toyota has sent its drivers but not its cars.
No.
I think it's a real shame actually, because to see some of these factory Toyota drivers in the I think one of the issues is the GT300 Lexus cars have got their own driver lineups, but so the factory drivers probably couldn't get into those, but it would have been interesting to see, as Honda do with Modulo, and the Motul car as well, have their own semi-works cars. It would be quite interesting to see a semi-works Toyota out here, but unfortunately they decided not to, but it means we've got a smattering of fantastic drivers in unusual cars.
Exactly.
And as we're about to find out from one flying fin at the beginning of the session to another.
Yeah, and that's right. So it would be nice to see, as you said before, Kovalainen. Then we have Sekiguchi. Usually is driving for Lexus in the Super GT 500 class.
He's also
and then we have Ishiura with the McLaren. He's already lining up at the end of the pit lane. He's really anxious, thanks to...
I think we're expecting your mate in this session, are we not?
Sugio.
Yeah.
Is he?
My teammate?
Yeah,
that's right. Matsuda Sugio. And they are now, thanks to the great driving by his teammate Bourdon in the second session, they are now in P7 aggregate.
The timing monitor, they deleted the session.
Yeah, I think we'll just ignore that for now.
It's probably a technical glitch, and we're not going to talk about it.
Issue, but the position they are still corrected. Like before the aggregate one.
Well, it's one of
change.
Talking about Ishiura, the last race was in Fuji, right?
No. Super GT or Super Formula?
Super Formula was Motegi.
In Motegi.
Motegi, okay.
Yes.
I think they were talking that he was on a vacation with his family like a week before that, and he got bitten by a dog. And he was still worried about being, in a race.
He's got a rabid racing driver.
Really?
But I guess he's okay now. But that was that.
To when he's known most racing drivers, you would know.
In Japan or?
Yeah, in Japan, in one of the Okinawa or somewhere. That was he was talking about. That was the fun. That was a topic of the talk show we had in Lexus drivers meeting in.
In
Odaiba. Yeah, and that was one thing where we were talking and we had a big fun, just joking around about.
They were teasing him. Those
how could you be
Dexter drivers.
How could you be bitten by a dog? And it wasn't a stray dog, but he was still worried. And
You could ask whose dog it was then.
yeah, well, he was still under like incubation period, but then
But I saw him last night at the restaurant.
Yeah, he
the
seemed
Italian
okay.
restaurant where I used to go, and he likes that restaurant as well. He was in good shape.
Okay, he
so
wasn't
tonight, if I will see him again, I will ask about the.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to bite someone. Or
It was okay.
Well, Ronnie definitely doesn't seem rabid. Well, there's a Honda Civic Type R just inspecting the track at the moment. Not entirely sure why, because we're about to go green in just over a minute.
So all our eyes will be focused on the car number 11. At first, we want to see the Mick Hakkinen cars driving in the Pole Shootout as well. Now
Yeah.
the P25.
I think we all, with the timing screens, I'm just going to see if the same issue has appeared on the public ones.
oh yeah, we got the sessions 2 time back on our monitors.
Ah, yes, now we have the correct drivers and cars back on our screen. That makes more sense, but of course we need the session 3. Well, you're just looking at that.
I wonder what happened to the under investigation thing. There's nothing being
we
mentioned.
won't find out till after the session.
Yeah.
There you can see the pair of Team WRT Audis, one in celebratory white, one in celebratory blue. I've read the press release, and Nagaro blue, which is the colour of that WRT Audi, is a colour that was available on a road car, and they decided to celebrate that. I apologise to Audi in advance. I don't really understand the significance of the colour.
Oh, okay.
Nonetheless, it's a Mercedes coming out of the pit first, and that one's black and green.
Well, it's like some teams have like distinctive team colors, like the BMW cars. That's a BMW car color.
Yes.
But like some other colors, like Ferraris, it's pretty much usually it's red, but then we have a different colors, yellow. But yes, it's true. Like some colors are.
But I like the two Bentleys.
Yeah, that's pretty.
The
Yeah, that's
Bentley's
a
is
nice
nice.
color. Yeah.
So, we're talking about paint schemes, which is something
Yes.
I rarely do, but it's GT3, so why not? I have to say, I really, really like the Lamborghini in that sort of BASF style livery with just the orange, the red
Yeah.
and white stripes and the target sign. I just think it looks brilliant. And normally it's the Super GT cars that have got the best paint job, but you can't overlook the Hatsune Miku 00 Mercedes because that attached livery is just cool. And basically, motor racing needs more attachment. But the session is green, and we get back underway for the final qualifying session here at Suzuka ahead of the 10 hours race. However, there is the pole shootout. What these guys right now are trying to do is to get into the top 20. If you're not in the top 20, your grid position is determined by the time, the aggregate time of your three drivers from this session. Right now, there's quite a few cars just on the cusp of getting into that set. I mean, looking at the aggregate times, there's quite a few guys who are in the 4:06 bracket, and 20th position is the number 18 car with 4:06.2 aggregate time. Now, within a second and a bit of that, you've got a whole bunch of other cars, including Roman Puma Porsche. He's not in the car because he's already driven it.
That's right.
And our timing screen doesn't seem to recognise that factor. But one car we haven't spoken enough about is the Corvette. It's the first time I've actually seen one of these racing. That's the Callaway Competition Bingo racing car.
Yeah, they were here also last season. They were driving with the same car.
They're sitting in 27th position at the moment with a 4:08. It's not inconceivable that a good lap from this final driver will put them into the top 20, but it's a bit of an ask at the same
we
time.
expected something more from them.
Well, Yuhi Sekiguchi, we spoke about him. There he is. In that Super GT Lamborghini.
At the moment they are on P17, so the driving from Sekiguchi will be very important. Sekiguchi actually, he won the Super GT round of 3 years in Suzuka. It was at the end of May, driving for the Lexus Team Thomas, pairing with Kazuki Nakajima. So I think he has a good memory, a recent memory from Suzuka in this season.
Wow.
And here is Heikki Kovalainen behind the wheel.
In the Hub Auto Corsa. That is a car to watch because it does clearly have a very talented driver lineup.
And the car looks nice. I like that car.
It's not red. It's not red bits on it.
True.
that they were very disappointed after the spa of 24 hours. The car didn't get too far into the 24 hours. Sustained significant damage and didn't finish the race. Hoping to go a bit further. Nick Cassidy didn't even get to drive that car in the 24 hours. He's hoping to more than drive it in Suzuka. They've got the race win in their sights. And that is their target for this race. Of course, every team is looking to win their class, but not every car is realistically capable of winning this race overall. The cars are equally balanced by a balanced performance process, as is usual with Super GT and any other GT3 race. The Lotus being the exception, that is running to Super GT balance of performance regulations, which means it's 200 kilos lighter than any other car.
They have the Lotus car has a Mazda chassis regulation with a carbon monocoque, so the car is very light. The engine to compensate this quickness because the car is very quick through the corners. They have less powers. They use some engine restrictor to decrease the horsepower, so they are struggling on the straight. And we were expecting a bit something more from the Lotus in the second session. Hiroki Kato was driving, but it didn't impress us.
Well, as those of the track have noticed, the Lotus is by far the loudest car on track.
Wow,
quite wonderful. There's quite a few liberties being taken on the exit there of Spoon. I haven't seen any messages from race control about that, so they seem to be letting it go this time.
The thing is,
we didn't see any warning, and here we are with my Super GT teammate Tsuyo Matsuda.
Well, the thing is, with Super GT, every time
in the pits.
In the pits?
That's not right.
This came back.
Yes. So is that trouble for the 35 car? Looking down the order to see his sector time. His sector times were off, yeah. 21.2
right.
and 44.
Not full pushing, but it was getting ready for this lap. The one.
So just looking at both KCMG cars in the pit now.
Changing the tires.
Well, the 018.
They're changing.
They're both cars in the pit. Both cars changing the right fronts. And yeah, they're both cars doing the full set of boots.
Yeah, they were. I think they were out with used tires, and now both cars.
Getting new tires.
Yeah, they're sticker tires going on the 35. That's unusual to go out and do a bit of a lap and come back, though.
Yeah,
I don't really understand that.
Drove, maybe, not sure. I think they don't need the drivers to get really used to warm up themselves.
Yeah,
for the flying lap. Very unusual. But just changing the tires. They don't touch anything in the car.
Yeah, just tire change.
Just tire change and.
So it would be very nice to see and maybe talk later to Tsugio to check about the strategy.
What was that about?
that was a strange
in Super GT when we are driving for the car number 23 in Nismo, we never had this kind of strategy. So maybe he learned this strategy somewhere else.
And it seems to be exactly the same strategy for the Jarvis in the 018 car as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So they've got two of their super quick drives in on a Jarvis, of course. The Hatsune Miku car, I just noticed, looks like they may also have been following the same concept. The 00 car was just chugging its way out of the pit lane as well.
They are now pitting out, and Kamui Kobayashi is behind the wheel.
Young Berman, fastest in this session so far, well, very briefly, with 203.6. Heikki Kovalainen's first flying lap, though, only a 203.6 as well. That's not what we expected. That's 2 seconds slower than he needs to be. Jean-Marc Gounon with a 202.4 in the 77. Young Berman now. 2030. It looks like the track is either slower or the drivers are slower.
I think it's like the track should be, the best, the quickest, in the best situation now with more rubber and.
Maybe traffic, but
shouldn't be at this point. No worse or better than the previous laps. But the quick times seem to be significant. We've seen 201s now, significant 201s, and the top guys at the moment doing 2030s and 2024s, and these are top drivers in top cars as well. Race control just to see if there's any different messages coming in, but nothing there. So we look at
in this session many cars choose the strategy. Even Ishihara, the driver that is driving with McLaren, the teammate of Nick Hakkinen, he pit out very quickly, drove approximately 2 laps with used tires, came back and back to the pit, and now he's out again.
Yeah, quite a few drivers doing this to get I guess an extra tight set of tyres rubbered in or something. There is tyre limitations. The 999 Mercedes Marciello is set the purple first sector on the lap he's on at the moment. keep an eye on that one. It's not purple anymore.
At the moment, no 2 minutes or 1 yet.
Yeah, he is going quicker though. That is a lap to watch. Also on a lap now is Jean-Marc Gounon again. Heikki Kovalainen isn't improving on his next lap over. Kovalainen seems
that's
a little
right.
bit off the
Second
pace.
time looks so impressive. It's lower compared to his previous lap.
Well, you're seeing Marciello on your screen in that snake liveried, or crocodile liveried, I'm not sure if it's crocodile or snake, liveried Mercedes of Remco. And that is not going to be, 2:03.3, that's not quick enough. Needs to do a bit more than that. Looking behind it is the GT Nets. Super tight queue out here, and the traffic is terrible. Just looking at the McLaren was just trying to get out of the way as 4 cars went past him on the straight. A bit of clean air though is the hot auto Ferrari. No one's setting particularly rapid times at the moment.
Yeah, that's
the best
right.
on the screen is Augusto Farfus in the 42 car. He's done a 2:02.2, but isn't going quicker this lap. It's the first time we've really talked about the BMWs.
So let's see the 2 Nissan cars that just switched to new tires.
Well, a silver driver in the number 8 car.
Kamimura.
Yeah,
That's
Kamimura.
the Corvette.
And that was the APR with ARN run Ferrari.
Ferrari,
So that's the Toyota Prius team, but running a Ferrari. Has
that's
just
right.
set the fastest sector of anity through the snake, the first sector of the lap.
Kamimura is he's like a Porsche. He's not exactly a Porsche factory driver, but he's like
He's
one of
driving the Porsche Cup here in Japan. And now he's on Ferrari with Hiroaki Nagai and
in a
Drift King.
Lampan GT. And so he's then I think they won a race in Lampan GT Asia somewhere. I just don't recall, but so they're doing the car is doing really well. I mean, this Ferrari is actually a car that they drove last year in Lampan GT series.
He's getting terrible traffic on this lap though, coming up, you can see coming down the back stretch there towards 130. There's cars all around him. Is that going to affect his lap time? I think it probably is.
Yeah, because of this strategy with cars that are pitting in after a few laps to change tires and then they go out again. So there are, for drivers that they are choosing like the normal strategy when they are pushing, they form these cars like pitting out, warming up the tires. So it's difficult to find the most traffic session.
With 4.5 minutes of this session to go, there's quite a lot to change. That was a 2:02.8 from the silver driver in the APR run with ARN Ferrari. That's really impressive, but we're looking back to Heikki Kovalainen in the Hub Auto car. 2:03.0. He's still not got the speed in this car, is he? Do you think he's struggling to adapt to it somehow? Well, I'm impressed by Kamimura in the number 8 car, and that's put that up to 16th on aggregate. Well, it had done until Tadasuke Makino in the Honda managed to jump in front of him.
Yeah, but Kamimura, like I said, he's a Porsche, not official, but a scholarship driver, and so
That's right.
exactly, he was doing very well in the Lampan GT Asia. We thought because he's a Porsche driver, he knows about Porsche, but seeing him drive Ferrari and being fast enough and being very competitive, that really shows that he's really got
He certainly
talent.
does. Well, we're on board with the Plan X McLaren at the moment. That's not hacking at the wheel. That's Ishiura, I believe, driving. Let's see what he's got. The TV director thinks it's pretty quick. He's still in the second sector.
Yeah, he had not special first 2 sectors.
I think we're just
Not
watching it
quick
because of the car. The car in front of it, though, that's the Hub Auto car. Heikki Kovalainen's lap, we said the 2:03.0 wasn't spectacular compared to his teammates. It isn't spectacular, but it is good enough to put the Hub Auto car right up to second position.
The aggregate position is still great.
I guess he heard what we were saying.
Well, no, because it's the aggregated times.
Exactly, yeah.
Aggregate.
It's still a significant chunk of the number 25 car, which is sitting on top of the top pile at the moment. That's the WRT Audi, of course, with Levish at the wheel. He's in the pit currently. I can see him just having looks like a tyre change and a bit of fuel as well, I believe. Oh no, the car's going into the garage. So do they think they've done enough? With 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the board, the number 25 WRT Audi think they've done enough, and I think they've stopped for the day. brave.
They're just going to wait until Pole Shootout.
Then we have Ishihara coming back. Let's see the position, the aggregate position. At P23, aggregate one. Not enough.
Come on, he's
Still got a bit of time to go, but he's got quite a bit of time to find
And the Sekiguchi as well. P26, aggregate.
And he's crossing the line that's a 0.8.
P18, he's in.
He's just in though.
Just in.
And there is still 1 minute and 40 left on the clock, plus those guys
That's
on
right.
laps. That isn't a safe position. He needs to do another lap. I like this knockout format.
Wow.
Kamui is in 17th, right? That's right about it. That's 0.
Kamui
He
Kobayashi
is 17th.
up
place.
to
Yes.
17th. So we have a few great drivers.
And he's done a
really on the
2:08.
limit.
He's done a
over the
2:08.
borderline.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a 2:08, so that shows the track isn't particularly slow. It's just some of the drivers are. Ishihara is on another lap in the McLaren, trying to improve on that. He's at 55.6 in the first sector. Working his way around into the second sector. We'll see how that comes on. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. It is the quickest so far for that car. Second sector wasn't brilliant. Going back
Yeah, the
towards
sector one was just a bit faster compared to the one of his previous laps. The sector 2 a bit slower, so we need to find out more to try to get in the top 20s.
Now, there were some concerns about the balance of performance for this car in particular, which saw the other two McLaren Custer Racing McLarens not take part in the race, but no way this team were going to sit it out. And the number 11 car, well, it doesn't seem
The
to be
sector
that
3 is a bit faster.
Yeah. It's a good lap for,
Let's keep,
this could move them up. It's not that far to get into the top 20 shootout. It's got to keep pushing.
But you need more than 1 second to get in. The aggregate time is more than 1 second, more than 1 second slower.
2:03.1, I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's not.
Car 35 is now in 5th place. Sugio.
Yeah, Sugio Matsuda has moved up with a 2:02.6. Didn't see it on the screen because we were watching the McLaren. Do you reckon you could go faster than that, Ronnie?
I mean, need some practice.
It's not fair, is it?
Not easy.
Too good an opportunity to miss. Quite a few cars out on track with the checkered flag flying.
It's nice to see and impressive to see the improvement of the Lamborghinis. The car number 88. Caldarelli didn't have enough luck in the first session, but in the second session, Mapelli did 2:01.9. And now we have the teammate Linda, which I think he got the quickest lap time of the session.
Kamui Kobayashi still out on the lap trying to improve. He doesn't really need to, he's in 18th. And none of the cars behind him are going any quicker. So it looks like the Good Smile Racing Timukyo Hatsune Miku car that you can see on the screen, the 00. Mercedes is really safely locked into the top 20 shootout, which we'll be bringing you live here in a little while. As a few other cars still try and get in. None of them seem to be improving. One car that has improved slightly was Ishihara in the McLaren, but he's tried for another lap, but that lap wasn't any quicker, so he's lost 4 tenths in the middle sector, so he's not going to go quicker this time by. And the order I think that we've got is pretty much the order. So the Audi R8 LMS of WRT, car 25, quickest so far. Heikki Kovalainen managing to get the Harborto Ferrari 488 GT3 into second position. Johan Berman in the 77 Mercedes, third position. Fourth position, Miguel Molina in the treble 7 Ferrari, and some bloke called Sugio Matsuda in fifth, as my screen froze at that point. And unfortunately for fans of the Lotus Evora, they're down in 30th position. Well, there is Sugio Matsuda, bringing the car back. Ronnie's going to have a chat with him after this session. And
yeah, I'm looking forward to hear about the strategy of the tires change.
And also,
the one we said.
Also be interested to find out who's going to drive that in the shootout session.
That's right, because they have like I guess either of Tsugi or Katsumasa Chio. I think they are the two ace drivers of the team. But also their teammate Bourdon did. He was actually the quickest in the second section.
The two Japanese drivers were slower.
Yeah, Bourdon did really well in the.
Well, yeah, you can see on
the
screen,
second section.
You can see those drivers 3 times on your screen. Hopefully, in a minute, we'll see the aggregated times as we roll through. You can see that APR of ARN Racing in 11th position in driver 3 terms, but these times only count for, well, they don't really count for anything because it's the aggregate time. Now, these guys from 21 back, this will be the starting order for those cars. This is crucial. So you can see J-Lock will be in 21st position, Bentley 22nd, and down to Arrows Racing at the back of the field in the 98 car in 36th and last position on the grid. Pending, of course, any penalties, and we suspect there may be a few because we
might have some change for sure, especially in this critical knockout zone.
And they were talking about a couple cars under investigation and no further notice being given since then, so we don't know what's the final status going to be.
Yeah, I tried to get the race control screen up and it broke my system, so I couldn't find out what they were talking about. As Sugio Matsuda returns to the pit lane, clouds gathering over Suzuka, and we did talk about it briefly before this session started, that there is a real chance of rain for the pole shootout, but only about halfway through the pole shootout, which really could put the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak.
That's right.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be
crazy.
I'm looking forward to it. Crazy's good.
Crazy's good.
Well, we'll be bringing that to you live. You can find the link on.
Yeah, it will be in 3 hours.
In 3 hours time.
3 hours. 3 hours time. 3 hours later.
It will be here on GT World. So if you just hit the GT World tab, you'll be able to watch it live. We're going to stay with you and just have a little bit of a discussion about what's gone on.
Takashi.
Yeah.
Hi, can you?
The box 25.
All right.
Audi WRT.
Okay.
And I have to say congratulations for overall P1. Thank you.
Frederick?
And then now, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Hi.
I'm here.
Hello.
So, yeah. So the driver is already with me, so yeah.
All right, okay.
I would like to say, so how was the qualifying for you guys? Because yesterday was raining and now the sun is out from today, so.
Exactly. But basically we had some experience from last year that we tried to use, but even in the rain, we tried to work a bit on setup, preparing today and tomorrow. And I'm really nicely surprised that we could do with the average first position. So that means we all three did a good job, a great job, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to the race for sure. Now it's still the Super Pole, and let's see what happens there. But I think for the race, we worked hard on a race setup, and it seems also to be okay on quali. So that's good to see.
And what about the tires, the situation right now?
Yeah, I think with the rain, it was actually very good because we could save some tires, and everybody knows here the tires is a big issue, a big challenge, let's say. But I think we are better prepared than last year. It feels a bit better, so hopefully this will confirm as well. But we all know that the Merc is very, very strong on long run, so this is something we will see tomorrow how that goes.
Sam? Hey, Sam?
Yeah, hello.
So, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was reading the comments on the chat. Listening.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean that was interesting for them to be on pole. It's going to be interesting for them later on to see if they can keep that pace going on into the pole shootout session. That'll be one driver. We'll go through the rules for that because the rules make it even more exciting. Whoever came up with the rules for the pole shootout session is very, very clever, and I would like to buy them a beer because it looks to be that entertaining. And if the rain comes, it will be even more so. I don't know. Did you get any feeling down there from what they thought it was going to be like for the pole session?
Takashi?
Hello? Say it again?
Sorry.
We couldn't hear...
He was reading the timing screen.
No, so how was it down there for you? Did you get any vibes or like how's the vibes down there?
Yeah. No, you go. No. I mean, it's quite hot. It's good that it's dry, because we expect a dry race tomorrow. So it's great that we had practice and quali and dry circumstances, so we can work on the car. But if it rains, that could be spectacular for everybody. I mean, we also drove a lot in the rain yesterday, so actually doesn't matter what it will be for quali, but tomorrow we don't expect rain, and that's for us the most important to have a good race car, and this is our main objective.
And and now the driver has to go for
okay,
with the team. So
right, okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Frederick.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you very much, Frederick.
Best of luck to you and the team.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, he's see, none of them. See, this is with this qualifying format. None of the drivers are like happy about their result yet because they know they've got this other bit to come. And the guys who have finished, the 25 car, Vevish could be on pole or he could be 20th.
That's right.
And that's what's so
That's
much fun about
a
it.
big
Yeah.
difference.
Everything
isn't it?
still open. A lot of pressure for the drivers that will be in charge to.
So you could
to drive in the pole shootout session.
Exactly. You could be saving tires and like kind of staying in a 15th and kind of looking forward for the shootout.
Or you get an extra set of tyres for the pole shootout, so that gives you a little bit of an advantage.
Right.
You have the extra sector will be the set number 16.
Yes.
You have basically 15 sets available, starting from the official pre-practice until the end of the race, and then you